The sun is one of the most important parts of real-world lighting, and in Unreal Engine 5, directional light plays the exact role. If your scene feels flat, confusing, unrealistic, or just off, there's a very high chance your directional light is the problem. In this video, I'll explain what directional light is, how it works, why it matters, and how professionals use it in games and cinematics. And I'll try to keep it simple. Directional light simulates a light source that is infinitely far away from your scene. In simple terms, it acts like the sun. Because the sun is so far away in real life, the light rays hit the world from the same direction. That's why shadows from sunlight stay parallel. And directional light works the exact same way. Unlike point light or spotlight, its position does not matter, only its rotation matters. To rotate directional light, first find it in the outliner. Or type it in the search. Select it, and over here, since only rotation matters, use Y and Z axis to move the light around. Or even better, press and hold Ctrl and L and move the light around. So when you rotate it, it affects shadow direction, scene depth, atmosphere, readability, and mood. Which means this single light can completely change how your scene feels. Now, if you are completely new to Unreal lighting, I also made another video explaining what every major light and environment actor in Unreal Engine actually does. Things like skylight, point lights, exponential height fog, volumetric clouds, and more. So if some of these terms feel confusing, watch that video after this one. Directional light is usually the main light source in outdoor scenes. But even indoors, it still matters because sunlight often enters through windows, doors, openings, or indirect bounce lighting. And this is important for both games and cinematics. In games, lighting helps player understand the environment, and in cinematics, lighting helps create emotion and focus. So good lighting tells the viewer where to look, what matters, and how the scene should feel. The direction of your light changes everything. A high sun angle creates short shadows. This usually feels natural, clean, and realistic for daytime scenes. On the other side, a low angle creates long shadows, and this feels more cinematic, more dramatic, and often more emotional. That's why sunset lighting looks so good in games and movies. One of the biggest mistakes people make is placing too many lights everywhere. So when everything is bright, nothing stands out. Your scene loses contrast, focus, and depth. Professional lighting is usually much simpler than people think. Most great scenes start with one strong directional light, clear shadow direction, and controlled contrast. So instead of adding more lights, try improving the main light first. Now let's go through the most important directional light settings. Not every setting in Unreal matters equally. These are the ones you will actually use. First we have intensity. Intensity controls how strong the sunlight is. You can change intensity here, so the higher intensity makes the scene brighter, increases visibility, and creates stronger highlights. But too much intensity can wash out the image. Your scene starts losing detail and contrast. Lower intensity creates a softer and more controlled image. In games, higher intensity is often used for readability, and in cinematics, lower intensity can create a more dramatic mood. Next we have a light color. Light color changes the temperature of your sunlight. Warm light feels natural for sunsets, feels cozy, emotional, cinematic, and on the other side, cold light feels cloudy, realistic, and sometimes more serious or uncomfortable. And don't forget that even small color changes can completely change the mood of a scene. You can also easily change it here, enable temperature, and play with the settings. This allows you to dial in lighting using the Kelvin scale. I really prefer this scale, it's easier and sometimes you get the better effect. Next we have an interesting option, it's a source angle. This is a really nice option that controls the softness of the shadows cast by the sun. Small angle creates razor sharp, heavily defined shadows, and those are often used for stylized looks, and large angle creates softer, diffused shadows. And you can see that you can actually change the size of the sun very quickly. Shadows create shape and depth, and they are an important part of the lighting setup. Without shadows, your scene feels flat. So soft shadows feel realistic, natural, and cinematic, and sharp shadows feel harsh, stylized, and sometimes more game-like. If your shadows are too weak, your environment loses dimension. If they are too strong, the scene can become hard to read. Again, the balance comes here, and it's of the utmost importance for your scene. To play with shadows, use this indirect lighting intensity. Lowering this value deepens your shadows for a grittier look, while raising it softens the scene. Your directional light does not exist in a vacuum. It acts as the engine driving the UE5's most powerful environmental systems. It's a lumen. It's a real-time global illumination system that amplifies your directional light. When the sun hits a surface, lumen calculates the realistic light bounce, filling dark rooms with the undirect illumination. Another important correlation with direct light is the sky atmosphere, because the directional light dictates the behavior of the sky atmosphere. As you rotate the sun with Ctrl and L and you go below the horizon, the sky naturally transitions through sunset colors into night, dynamically shifting the ambient mood. The next thing is volumetric clouds. The sun interacts directly with UE5's volumetric clouds, generating massive cloud shadows across your landscape and scattering light through the cloud density for a photorealistic skies. Also, this video only covers the settings that matter most in real production, but directional light actually has many more advanced options. So I made a free PDF guide where I explain every important setting, what it does, when to use it, and common mistakes to avoid. You can download it from the description below. Here is a simple workflow professionals often use. First, we have a step 1, we need to choose the light direction. Before touching settings, you need to decide where is the sun coming from. This immediately defines shadow direction, mood, and composition. Step 2 is to adjust the intensity. So make sure that important areas are visible, but the highlights are not overexposed. Step 3, look at the shadows and ask yourself, do they create depth, do they help the image, or do they flatten the scene? After that, add contrast, because not everything should be equally bright, and contrast is what guides the eye. So bright areas attract attention and dark areas create focus. And finally, let the lumen enhance the scene. Once the base lighting is strong, lumen can add realistic bounce lighting naturally. Directional light is not just a technical tool, it defines atmosphere, readability, emotion, and depth. If this light is wrong, the entire scene feels wrong. But when it's used correctly, even a simple environment can look cinematic. If you want to truly understand Unreal Engine lighting, not just copy settings, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to go deeper, download the free Directional Light PDF guide below. Also check out my other lighting video where I explain what every major lighting actor in Unreal Engine actually does. Both links are in the description.